Hi folks, can't make too much noise because I'm currently in bed with all three of the goodies. After last week, things just got a bit out of hand. I don't want my wife to find out about it. It was like a human centipede, but with 4 people, and we weren't connected by mouth to our bum, not all the time. Anyway, welcome to another episode of RHLSTP Leicester Square Theatre podcast. We've got one of my all-time heroes, Terry Hall. I'm very excited about this one, and I was very nervous doing it. I hope you will enjoy it. Hey, look, we've got tons of podcasts coming up, being recorded. It's an exciting, brave new world in 2019 for the podcast. Do come and see us live if you can. A whole load more are going to be announced pretty soon. But I mean, the Bilston Town Hall of the Wolverhampton Literature Festival on the 1st of April with Sathnam Sanghera, whose book you should read. It's fantastic. On the 4th of February, I'm at the Leicester Square Theatre with Emily Atack, and to be confirmed. We're aiming for a big name, though, for the start of the series, so it's worth booking ahead. The next two on the 11th and 18th are pretty much sold out, but it's David Morrissey and Rob Brydon, followed by James Acaster and London Hughes. February the 25th is Joel Dommett and Susie Ruffle, who are both fantastic comedians. And then on March the 4th, we have Les Dennis. Come on. It's going to be awesome. Please come. And Matt Ford, he'll be all right as well. And 11th of March, I think, is Rosie Jones, fantastic new comedian. And someone else, and to be confirmed. She's not someone else, there will be someone else on. March the 18th is Sindhu V, and she's also fantastic, and there'll be someone else on that one. March 25th, don't know yet, but I'm holding out for some big names. It's worth booking for the TBAs, I'm telling you, because they're going to be good. And the 1st of April will be the No Such Thing as a Fist podcast. This is a very different podcast to the No Such Thing as a Fish. No, it's them. And to be confirmed. And there are also gigs in Bath on the 15th of February, where Kerry Howard is the guest, plus to be confirmed. And in Birmingham, which is sold out on the 23rd of March, I think. And the Matter is sold out. Don't know who the guest is yet. And 3rd of April, there's an extra gig added in the Brydon Podcast Festival. So the 8:30 one is sold out. There is now one at 6:30. Do go there, get your tickets quick. The other one sold out super fast. There'll be a different guest if you want to come to both podcasts. You are more than welcome, but you have to pay twice. That's just the way the world is, I'm afraid. It's a cruel, cruel place. Most places you don't have to pay once for 2 podcasts, but that's just the way it rolled in Brighton. So do come and see us if you can. There will be some announcements about other exciting developments. Oh, I'm going to be doing the Edinburgh Fringe, and I'll be doing like another 20-plus podcasts during the Edinburgh Fringe, which, again, I'll give you more details of when it's absolutely confirmed. But I'm very excited about that. And there's going to be loads more podcasts added. Go to richardherring.com/gigs for info on all these gigs. And there will be very soon an announcement about all the rest, as well as letting you know what the changes are that are hopefully going to fund all of this madness, because we're going to try and film nearly all of those shows on the road as well. So that's going to cost us loads of money, but I think we've got it covered. We'll see. All right. Have a good time all of the time. One more in this series after this is Adam Buxton next week, which was a great one. And this one is also a great one with a wonderful man, Mr. Terry Hall. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Leicester Square Theatre. Please welcome a man who's got something back here that he wants to show you. It's Richard Herring! Oh yeah, in your face, Rachel Riley! Not so clever now, are you, Rachel? In your face, JB off of JLS. I always suspected I might be cleverer than him, and I'm glad to approve. We might talk about that in a second. So,
It could just be anything in that cup. Don't you have to go, oh, that's nice, he's got a big cup. Welcome to Richard Herring's Leicester Square Theatre podcast, episode 199. Bet you wish you'd come next week, don't you? Wish you'd come next week. This audience will laugh at anything. Twice, apparently. So it's... though I was hanging around with Rachel Riley, Katie Durham and JB from JLS this week. Seemed a bit grumpy about something. They seemed annoyed with me for some reason, but they call it RHLSTP, so I don't know. That's going to catch on. So yeah, it was House of Games. I've finally broken... Look at that, it's a trophy, isn't it? It's something ridiculous. I've finally broken my TV quiz game blank and won something. There's 5 day... It's over 5 days House of Games. I don't know if you've seen this show with Richard Osman, and he was really trying to make me lose. Kept on teaming me with JB. To try, and then I was very. You see the clever round where I was very clever, where one of you had to give the first part of the answer, the other had to give the second part of the answer, and I knew JB wouldn't get it, so I knew the answer, but I didn't answer, and then the other team got half of it and didn't get it. Came back to us, and I changed my mind about the answer. So it's to the wrong answer. It's very hard. You do it all. They record like 5 episodes in a day. I mean, do 1 a week. Come on, so by the 5th one, I was absolutely hallucinating. I knew Jonathan Price, and by the time I came to press my buzzer, we were 2 questions on. So it was a terrible... It was a lovely thing I think Rachel Riley, she won the first episode, got a bit cocky, and then she didn't really like me by the end. She was, at the start, she's going, oh, I love that thing you did on International Women's Day, that was great. And then the end, yeah. She got a nice dressing gown, she can't complain. So it's very exciting. And also, a very exciting week in lots of ways. We're recording this episode on International Men's Day, November the 19th. It's here. It exists. None of the people who were that bothered on March the 8th seem to be celebrating, but I have a plan for them next year. Next year, there'll be some more stuff going on. My blog, Warming Up, is 16 years old in about 6 or 7 days' time. I've done a blog every single day for 16 years. My blog is now old enough to have sex. But it can only have sex with other blogs that are over 16 years old, which does limit. There's one other blog that's a daily consecutive blog that has gone for longer than mine. But, I'm not bitter about coming second. Because there's that guy going. I'm just going to get that out at the start of every podcast now. It's just going to go on that forever. Anyway, look, crack on. Let's crack on. We've got a fantastic guest I'm very excited about. This is an absolute personal hero of mine, so I will probably really fuck this up and they'll storm off. He is probably best known for appearing for 2 seconds in the Madness video for Driving in My Car. That's why we're here, isn't it? Imagine that being in Madness. That must be exciting. I must be very excited about that. Ladies and gentlemen, will you welcome Terry Hall? Terry Hall. Now, there was... that's my my Game of Thrones trophy, I like to call it, my House of Games trophy. Nice. It's a bit in the way, and I'll put it down there for the moment. There was a debate on a previous Richard Herring's Leicester Square Theatre podcast about whether you were very tall or very short.
Both.
Yeah, it is. I remembered you as being quite short, and the other person remembered you being very tall. Now, I'm shorter than you, so I don't know why I thought that. And he was taller than you, so I don't know why he thought that.
Good night.
Yep, good. So, at least that mystery is now solved. That is the only reason I brought you here tonight. Do you remember being in the Madness video for Driving in My Car?
Yeah, it was a cameo appearance,
yes.
And they said, will you stand on the side of the road holding a sign, Coventry or something?
It was said Coventry.
So, yeah, we did it. It was great.
They drove past you.
Yeah.
They drove past
Slapstick.
you. And then they didn't pick you up, and then you really laughed.
Yeah.
And that is the one piece of footage I found of you laughing. In all my attempts to find it. But it was good. Do you have any funny stories about that day?
Not
Suggs?
one.
No one?
No. But it's nice when you work with comedy bands. It's like... do you know what I mean? Like the Barron Knights, Madness, Chuckle Brothers.
Yeah. Mr. Blobby, did you ever work with Mr. Blobby?
I did once.
Yeah. He was good. Bob the Builder, he was good. I'm very interested in that 80s period, and mate, I'm going to talk about things that probably your fans won't be that interested in hearing about, because my obsession with you is the 80s and 90s. But I was just watching Fun Boy 3 and Bananarama, which I remember the day that was on Top of the Pops.
I got a laugh.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because it was looking back at it now, it's just, it's kind of got this wonderful nostalgia, because all 6 of you look like everyone at all the parties I went to when I was 15 years old, because the fashions are very evocative of that time. So it's slightly sexually arousing watching that. Yeah. Watching you in that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
But I remember coming, having... At that time, when that Top of the Pops came out and you were with Bananarama, it was sort of a shock.
Well, I wasn't with Bananarama.
Well, we're going to get onto that. It was quite a shock to see, having been the specials, and then it was a change of direction.
Well, the Fun Boy 3 wasn't us forming a band; it was us leaving a band. Yeah. And once you've left a band, and that's what you do, you tend to form another band. Yeah. And we didn't give it too much thought. We just didn't want to be in the specials for a while.
No. But Bananarama was kind of an interesting... It's really a good... The tracks you did with them.
Well, they were really... Yeah, I heard one single, and it was good. It was good. And they were just, like, pretty easygoing, and they didn't really want to be singers. They just giggled and stuff. It was nice.
It was fun, and but everyone looks like... But you all look just like the kind of kids that we were at school. I mean, you are still kids, really.
Thank you.
And you still are. But that's what I find astonishing, is that you're only like 4 or 5 years older than I am, and like to me as a teenager, you think they're all the grown-ups, but you started so young. You started in music so young.
Around 17, yeah.
Yeah, and so like,
and I'm approaching 60. Go on, say it. You didn't look it.
You do not look it. I was kind of trying to work out what you might look like coming in. Yeah. And I thought you'd be in a cardigan and.
Yeah.
You're still looking good.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm glad. I'd felt more sorry. You look good. How did you get into the bands originally? So you left school at 15?
Around 15. Then I started to do jobs, like you go to work.
Yeah.
And
you had quite a mixture of jobs as well.
But I couldn't really be told what to do.
Right.
So it was tricky. It's like the thing I wanted to be was a hairdresser, because I saw Warren Beatty in Shampoo, right. Where it's a great film, and where he teases middle-aged women's hair. I thought I've got to do that. But so I got an apprenticeship, and the first week was sweeping the floor, hair off the floor. Yeah. But then they said you can start washing now. But the first person I had to wash was he was sort of middle-aged. He was grey, but he had like nicotine stained grey. Right. And I just thought, fuck that, I'm not not touching his head. Yeah. So then I became a bricklayer. It's true.
It's quite a swing away from hairdressing.
From the blower to the hod, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, from the broom, it sounds like you only washed one person's hair.
I didn't wash his hair. No.
And were you a quantity surveyor as well?
For a day.
Right.
Because our gaffer told us, he looked at me, he said, take your hands out your pocket. And I just said, you can stick your job up your arse, mate. It's like, what has that got to do with me doing a good job? Yeah. I'll take them out when I've got to hold something.
Yeah.
But
you might have thought you were fiddling with yourself or something.
I was.
Yeah, well, that might have been the issue.
It was cold.
And so, is it you saw the Set Pistols and the Clash? Is that what?
76, 77, and then it became clear what you had to do if you wanted to be in a band.
Yeah.
Very little, really.
Was that? I mean, there's lots of people who claim they saw the Pistols live, and many of them didn't. But obviously there was.
Well, I saw the Pistols and the Clash together.
Right.
I don't know the name of the tour, but it was just a real eye opener, just for me and a few friends, and we formed a band.
Right. And then so that you were invited into the specials subsequent to that, or was the specials?
Well, their original singer he wasn't very good, and so they're looking for another one, and I just happened to be in the band supporting that stage of the specials, so I just joined. It wasn't like everybody was in every band then. It was messy.
Yeah. But it's a very exciting time. To be involved in music. It's sort of interesting because, like, so much, and you take the mickey when I've seen you in interviews about a lot of the 80s bands, which I suppose by the time...
Only you two.
Yeah.
The rest are all right.
But there was a lot, but in the 80s, when I was on Pointless, Celebrity Pointless the first time, there was a question about... name. I don't want to obsess about it, but there was a question about name a solo artist who was number one in the 1980s. Wish you'd been on the team. And you've probably got one. But I've been listening since then. I listened to all those kind of the 80s radio show, and there's a lot of really, really embarrassingly bad music in the 90s. Yeah. Which do you think was the most embarrassing band? But even U2. I mean, there's just music that's just terrible.
Sunday, Bloody Sunday.
Yeah, no, you're right. But it seems like you would mess around with madness, so to speak, in that video, and
but we were sort of close. There was like out of that scene was like us, Madness, Dexys, The Beat, UB40, and we all sort of knew each other. We all toured together and stuff.
Yeah, and so but did you the backstage at Top of the Pops? Did you see anything going on there?
Yeah, yeah. I once saw Jimmy Savile with a body. It's really, really fucking disturbing.
You wish you'd said something at the time. We could have saved a lot of Now, I'm obsessed with your 90s work, though.
Yeah.
Which is, and my favourite album, I was asked by the Daily Express to name my top 5 albums of all time. And certainly, I think the first one I mentioned, and I think possibly my favourite album of all time, is Home by Terry Hall, your solo album, which got to 96 in the album charts.
It did.
Yeah.
It got to 42 in Greece.
Did it?
And in Israel, it got to I had 4 singles in the top 10.
Right. That's
Shalom.
more like it. I genuinely... I listened to it all again today, and it stands up. It's a fantastic album.
It was not hard to do, but once I was in a band called The Colourfield, and after that my head fell off really, and I just wanted to be very sort of home-based and small and tiny and make little records.
Yeah.
And that was the start of that.
But it's a real. I mean, the musicians that I like and the music I like it's got to be kind of lyrically good for me. I'm as interested in the words, probably more interested in the words than the music. And the words in that are beautiful. I think Sense is one of the best love songs there's ever been. And I know, like, the Lightning Seeds did a version of that you were also involved in, and it was written with Ian Brody, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
But their version did better than your version.
Yeah.
Your version's better than their version.
Yeah.
I listened to
Yes.
It's much better. And you're in the video playing the guitar and singing the backing vocals.
Yeah,
Was it annoying to be?
Not really.
Because you didn't know at that stage it was going to do better, probably.
No, it didn't matter really because I had writing credit on both. So more the merrier, really.
But I think that really... I wrote a play called Playing Hide and Seek with Jesus, where I used all your music all the way through as the in between the scenes. And it was all about someone falling in love with someone head over heels in a ridiculous way with someone that was a bit unattainable, which I think was, that sense, the opening line of that, I'm flying high on something beautiful and aimless. It's not a name, but I prefer to call it nameless. I think that sort of really sums up that feeling of falling in love in that way.
Yeah, and... there was a song called Forever J on it, which was about my ex-wife, and it took 17 years to write a song about her, and I finished it, and I thought, well, I've done it, it's great. And then she fucking divorced me. No, serious, it's like, cheers.
You meant to write a song for them at the beginning, that's how you get them to sleep with you in the first place.
Man. No. Can't win.
But she should be. How do you feel when you've created something? I mean, I know the answer to this question because I've done this a lot. Where you create something that you think is really good and that it doesn't kind of tap into the public consciousness.
That's okay. It doesn't matter really. It's never been about selling records for me. It's about, cliche, but the voice, and to be able to express how you feel, and maybe some people will listen, maybe they won't.
Yeah. So is it nice to know that, all these years on, that one bloke thinks it's the best album in the world?
But it's enough. It's enough.
It's
like, it's not about numbers really, and try telling my record company that, but it really isn't. It's just good to get it off your chest.
Yeah. And you've got this incredible varied career. Is that switching between genres and different collaborations? And sometimes you've fallen out with the band.
Oh, always. Yeah, they think I'm a right shit.
It's difficult though, isn't it? To work. I've worked in 2 double acts and fallen out with both of those people eventually.
Very.
And that's just 2 people managing two creative people working together. So if you've got, if you're in a band with 3 people or 10 people or whatever it is,
or 7 people, and you spend 6 months in a bus with them.
Yeah.
And they drink. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
And you were young as well, right? So like with the specials, you must have. Did you finish the specials? How would you? You must have been 22 or something when the special. So it's the same age as like when you're at university. You're making friendships. You're falling out of friendships. Every single day. So you obviously have.
But it was just weird because it's like I grew up in Coventry, which is about to be the city of culture.
Really, yeah.
In 2 years.
Yeah.
And they've got everything in place, apart from the culture. Bless them. But the route was you work in a car factory. That was the route. And then at 12, I got abducted. Abducted by a paedophile ring in France. And that was a real eye-opener. And I can laugh about it now, but it sort of switched something in my head. And it's like, I don't have to do that. And that's when I started, like, not listening to anyone.
Yeah. Well, that would happen. So is that part of the reason you left schools early? Because you clearly...
Well, I was sort of drugged up then on Valium for about a year, and I didn't go to school. So.
Right. I didn't realise it was as extreme as that. So it's... but you've got that reputation of, if you've been in lots of bands and it falls apart, but do you think that you're difficult to work with, or do you think it's...
No. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like I like to test my bands and see how they feel about stuff. And I remember I did a gig in Nottingham, and I got there really early, and I put about 30 American flags above the stage to see what their reaction would be. And they didn't notice, and it's like, I'm not going to be in this band anymore.
What reaction would have let you carry on with that
take
band?
Them down, why are they up? Something.
Yeah,
but
just wanted a reaction.
No.
It's fair enough. And so, but you've made up with some of the specials.
All of them, really.
Yeah, really, yeah.
Yeah, and now we tour again. We've been touring for around 9 years, and...
Is it easier now? You're older?
It's much better. Yeah. It's because... Now I don't have to travel with them.
Right.
It's really great. And I see them for about an hour and a half, and then we get off and do our own things.
Yeah.
Which would have been... That's what we should have done first time round.
Yeah, but it's hard, so like...
But we didn't. Yeah.
It's like when you're young, and there's no money.
No.
So you've all got to travel together, and you've got to live together. I slept in double beds with Stuart Lee for, in bed and breakfast and things.
Yeah.
Not when we were on tour.
No.
Once we slept in it was 2 single beds, but they were connected by a little pink canapé over the back on the wall. It's nice.
It happens.
Yeah. I think Gavin Eldon got a room to his own. I don't know how that worked out. But yeah, that's So I'm sort of fascinated by that dynamic within bands, because there's often like 2 creative people, and that friction creates great work. So,
it can do, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not very pleasant. That's the problem. So you can stick around for maybe an album or 2. And the most I've ever done is 2 albums with a band.
Right.
And it's usually 1. really.
Even just on your own, you just...
I did two with myself, and I fucking hated myself. I'm not working with that twat again, that's what I said. That was me.
Yeah. And you've worked with like everyone, really. You've worked with Damon Albarn, Dave Stewart.
That was Laugh.
Yeah.
Well, we got together. Our publisher said, "Can you two go off and write a song for the Ramones?" And we were like, "What?" It's like, how does that work? But so we got together. I went to France where he lived, and out of this one song, we did an album together called Vegas, which got to number 12 in the chart. But it was just a good laugh, really. And he's sort of like that, and he's on a different thing to me, really. And he's like, he knocks about with Bob Dylan and that sort of stuff. But he's nice.
Yeah. Do you still see the 12-year-old Lebanese singer that you work with Mushtaq?
Nope.
And it's quite a. I think I did get this album, but you lost me a little bit on this one.
I did it for 3 months. How do you think I feel? It's like the idea was to sort of merge Arab and Israeli music, and well, that was the blueprint, really. But it's then I met some Polish gypsies, and I said, "Do you want to play on our record?" And they said yes. So they came along, and it was like, and honestly, it's about 200 people came. It was like a caravan thing, and it's so we wrote out the chords to this song that we wanted to play. It was like B, whatever it was, and you start after 4, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then started playing all this shit, and it's like not that one, play our song, and they never did. But the funny, we did one gig. And the 4 women who did vocals on that album, they were great. But when we came to the gig, at soundcheck, there were 4 different women. It was like, honestly, the cousins or sisters or something. And they hadn't got a clue what they were doing at the gig. We did one gig.
Did it solve the Arab and Jewish
conflict? Yes,
there's
peace there.
Yeah, there is. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. So, my friend Paul Putner, who played the Curious Orange in Somewhere Richard Judy, remembers Funboy 3, I think, appearing on the Tube.
Yeah.
And you sang The End by the Doors.
Yeah.
Do you remember anything about that performance that was unusual?
Well, was it the Tube or the Switch where we were trying to make a statement, an anti-American statement, and so we had an American flag, and Neville set fire to it, but the lighter fuel went all over his legs, so he went up with the flag, and it shut down. It was live, it shut down. Right. But 2 weeks later, we were about to start an American tour, so we had to apologise to America. And I was so wound up having to apologise that the first night in San Francisco, I unveiled an American flag and said, "You can stick this up your ass." And we didn't last too long.
You do sort of speak your mind and blurt out.
I know.
These. I mean, it's good. I mean, it's artistically fantastic.
I know.
It must be annoying to have to come home from America.
Yeah.
Was it worth it?
Yeah. It was good fun. It was good fun.
Was Neville all right after he set himself on fire?
He lost his hair on his legs.
Oh, did it ever grow back?
It was quite nice, and then he sort of moisturised. It was a good look. Dead legs.
And so, do you ever get confused with the ventriloquist Terry Hall?
Yes. Once with the Inland Revenue, where... No, this is not a joke. This is really depressing. Where they'd claimed I'd done a summer season in Blackpool and that I'd hid the income. And it was like, it's not me, because I was in Coventry and he was based in Nuneaton, which is close.
Yeah.
Same sort of tax thing. And, yeah, there was that. And through school, it's like, have you stuck your hand up a lion's arse? Yeah. It was all that stuff. It was like, yes.
Have you ever thought of getting into ventriloquism? Because, there's a...
I could try.
Yeah, that's good. He's dead now, Terry Hall, so you could take over from him.
Thank God. Bless him.
Are you ever mistaken for Terry and Lander Halls, a tower on a campus at the University of Washington?
No.
No. Does it annoy you that you'll never get a hall named after you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It does.
It is.
It actually doesn't they?
Yeah.
Raised it.
I mean, they could call it the Terry Hall, but then it would be like someone... I mean, that could be any
Terry
Terry.
Hall.
If it's the Terry Hall, then no one's going to do that, are they?
Well, you never know.
Can we rename this? I mean, it's not really a hall. And this is going to be called Richard Herring's Leicester Square Theatre anyway. So I've got this... When I die, which might be quite soon... Shall I ask you... I've got many more things to talk to you about. I'm going to ask you a random emergency question. We had some fun backstage. Let's see which actually... I've got one... what is the worst thing you've ever eaten for a bet?
I think a 12-inch hot dog when I was about 10.
Okay. That doesn't sound that bad.
It was horrible.
Okay. I tried to eat a pack of butter at a party when I was...
Oh, no, I
21.
never did that sort of stuff.
Big
like
pack of butter.
Eating...
No.
No, I've never done that.
All right, how about this? If you had a finger that could cure rectal cancer, but only if you pushed it hard up the anus of the cancer sufferer. Backstage, I was saying I was going to be very respectful because it was terrible. Would you cure anyone, everyone, or be like Jesus and just cure a few people?
Would it have to go up Bono's ass?
Well, if he's got it, you can choose who you choose. You could possibly give them rectal cancer.
I'd cure everyone.
Everyone?
Yeah,
That's right.
of everything.
So you're better than Jesus?
Sort of.
Yeah. Oh, one more. Let's see. This will be in. Let's try this, Terry. If you only had a week to live, who would you tell to go fuck themselves? I have a feeling you'd do it anyway.
Yeah. I'd do it. Yeah, I'd do it anyway. It's like
It doesn't
give me a day, a year.
Yeah.
But you have to, really, don't you? It's like.
Is there anyone you like? So you've had all these falling outs with people. Is there anyone that you can't forgive, that you still feel bad towards, or does time heal?
Not really.
No.
No. Yeah, it's like I fell out with Jerry from the specials,
Yeah.
and we had this weird relationship, and I'm cool with it now, but sometimes he isn't, and that disturbs me a bit.
Yeah.
It was like, move on a bit.
Yeah, it's difficult though. It is difficult to move on. I know, but I really understand it. And like again, the two of you, creating great stuff together. I mean, he wrote Ghost Town and you performed Ghost Town, and I think it wouldn't have worked.
Which was great.
Yeah.
Which was brilliant. But yeah, so praise that really. Do you know what I mean? It's.
But so Lennon and McCartney would have the same thing, didn't they?
It's difficult.
And you sort of need those two personalities. I think to really create something, if it's a collaboration to create something that good, you need to sort of hate each other and love each other a little bit.
Yeah, but there's a time when the hate should stop really because it gets a bit dull. Hatred is dull.
Yeah. And so you think personally you've overcome those. For you, you overcome that?
I find it quite easy to forgive and forget. It's like, going back to my abduction, it's like you can let that eat away at you, but then you think, well, it's paedophilia, and it's like, it's part of life, really. It's unfortunate that it happened to me.
Yeah.
But you can't just let it destroy your life. It's not good.
But how do you even begin to overcome something like that? I mean, it must be hard.
Valium.
Yeah.
And then I fancied David Essex, which was a bit wonky, but it's like, so I connected the two.
Yeah.
But then I've started discovering girls, and you forget about it. It's too short.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's very upsetting, Terry. I'm very upset.
Oh no, you shouldn't be upset. It's like I find it rewarding. Sorry.
But is it? I mean, because people say that about comedians, that you need to suffer to be a great comedian. Do you need to have had something that's that bad to kind of unlock that?
It helps.
Yeah.
it helped. I mean, I've got... I suffer from manic depression, and I avoided all sort of medication for a long time. Until 10 years ago, I started taking lithium and stuff, and I'm still on these drugs. And it sort of helps. It sort of helps. I saw a documentary with Stephen Fry, and I really like him, but there was elements of that where you've got to sort of bleed to create, and it's horrible, though. If you've ever been in that position where you sort of bled, I'd rather not create. Do you know what I mean?
No, of course.
It's a balance is quite good.
Yeah. But, you know, you're clearly very intelligent person, and it sort of feels like that's led to at least you leaving education earlier than you might have done. I mean, it led to something incredible in terms of getting into these bands.
But it is like that journey, and I find it fascinating how outside elements affect you. And it's like me, and it's like at 14, because I didn't really go to school much, they let me work as a potato rumbler, which was one of the best jobs I've ever had. And it's the only one that I didn't walk out on.
Right.
So you had to there was a big rumbling bowl, and you had to put like a whole sack full of potatoes in, and they rumbled. And so the skin came off the potatoes.
Oh, really?
It's like, how did that happen? And then they went down a chute, and there were 10 women at the bottom chipping them.
Did you work in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory?
No. This was Coventry Market.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you go back to Coventry much?
No. But I don't think I'm welcome. When I left, there's a thing on at the front of the local paper that said, "Terry the traitor," because I left. It's like I decided to live somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's all a bit weird. Coventry's a bit, I don't know. I've got a good Coventry joke.
Okay, go on.
Okay. Ask me how I am.
How are you?
Don't ask. Sorry.
But there's a lot of those places in the Midlands, and a lot of them I haven't been actually into Coventry for a while, because the gigs I do are at the Warwick Arts Centre, which is sort of the main theatre sort of outside of Coventry.
Yeah.
I remember going to Coventry when I was a nipper and seeing that amazing statue of Jesus in the new cathedral.
With the devil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And being terrified.
Oh, that's the culture.
Yeah.
There you go.
But it was a city that got bombed in the war very extensively.
Heavily. Yeah.
So it's had to fight back against a lot.
Yeah, but there's a lot of infighting, which is a bit weird.
It's sort of weird, I think, when you do get... Some towns are so proud of themselves, some cities are so proud of themselves that idea of someone just choosing not to live there
it's bizarre,
is a traitorous act.
Yeah.
Whereas you can... Yeah. And I guess if you're being pushed away in that way, then it's hard to have affection.
It was.
Yeah.
But I really like it now. I never go back, but I do like it a lot. It's a great place.
It gave you all that amazing music and all that amazing experience. Yeah. And I won't go on about Ghost Town, but that is, does that feel still? Craig, our cameraman, was asking whether that still feels like a relevant song today, or whether it's ever not been a relevant song.
Well, it is. I mean, that was sort of more about, I think, Glasgow and Liverpool at the time when we were touring around.
Yeah.
But every city felt like that, and it was horrible. But it's still there. Those cities are still there.
But a lot of places are. It's hard to know, especially in the current political climate, how things are going to go. But it feels like there's some regeneration. It feels like
but you tart up a square mile, really, and that's lively, and you've got nacho bars and all that shit. But outside that square mile, it's not so great.
I had a burrito today.
Yeah. Nacho bar. I don't know what that is. But, nacho bars and...
Apparently they're all over now. It's
cafes.
the new thing. Cafes, bloody cafes.
Yeah. Too many.
And you're right about the Coventry Locarno, and...
That was great.
Yeah.
That was great. That was the first time I met Pete Waterman.
Right.
Because he's from Coventry too.
Yeah.
And he used to be the DJ there. And,
oh, really?
Yeah. He was great. And then he tried to manage us because he was like the local music thing. And he said that I'd make a good singer, but he suggested that I wear a black polo neck with a chain to draw attention to that. I don't know why. And then he said, all we need then is to stick a rocket up your arse. That was his...
Yeah, I'd like to have seen you produce...
He's great, Pete. He's
That
great.
could have been a different career. Different way through. Good. What have I got on this page? Let's have a look. Oh, I've talked about that already. In the 1980s, there's a lot of terrible music. That's what I've written at the top of there.
Yeah.
I think you could play Lee Mack's brother in a sitcom. Anyone
He does a sitcom.
He does, but you could be his brother. Should I suggest it to him?
If you want to.
Yeah. You could be his brother. He's come...
What are the hours?
I'm mad. He works pretty hard, actually. He was on Doctor Who the other day, Lee Mack.
Yeah.
I mean, a long time ago, people who were listening at home. But, what do you think about International Men's Day? Did you celebrate International Men's Day?
What date is that?
It's November the 19th.
What day is it today?
November the 19th.
It's great.
It's good, isn't it? We're having a good time.
Yeah.
I deliberately had no women on this week, so...
Because of that?
Yeah.
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 It's worked.
It's worked.
We're all men.
I've had the most manly men that I could find. You, me, Adam Buxton and Midley next week, but somehow it will be...
But that's
this
like a
week as well.
really camp trio. It's like...
Do you think the three of us could be the new Fun Boy 3?
No.
No.
But your hair does look good. No, it does. It does.
The hair's still there.
I've still got this shampoo thing going on. Do you fancy it washed afterwards?
There's a bit of nicotine in here. I'll have a haircut. We discussed earlier in the series that I spent £60 on a haircut and everyone thought I was insane. So if you want, I'll give you 50.
I'll take 40.
Have you got your scissors with you?
Yeah.
Could you do a good haircut if you were... I mean, you didn't really do any haircuts. I'll still take a chance. It'll be a talking point.
It's like, Christmas is coming up.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I'd like the same hair as you, that you and Steve Marshall at my school had from Fun Boy 3. I'd like that hairstyle, please.
But that was sort of... Yeah, that was an old Irish barber who I used to say, can I have this really short and leave the top? And he used to do it really short and he said, what about the top? I said, no, you leave the top. What do you mean you leave the top? It was an old Irishman.
Confused by your young ways.
Yeah.
Is it a weird thing that, I mean, now, like, that, men in their 50s are still, like, have that, that connection to you, that it's such a... I don't know, isn't it? It's such a... When those first bands you get into, as you know, with the Pistols and the Clash and everything, those first bands you get into are so important. And like you're watching Top of the Pops and you're seeing this stuff, And I remember kind of just that... What I was trying to get at earlier was just that, like, oh, we love the specials, and then, whoa, what's Fun Boy 3? What's going on? It's all different, and it's a talking point at school.
Yeah.
And then it's still in these people's hearts 30, 40 years later.
That happens at our gigs. It's like, you get sort of 50-year-old men coming up, but they're usually drunk, really drunk.
Yeah.
And they slobber all over you, which is a bit weird. But, yeah, but it's nice. It's nice.
And they've stayed very true. Do you have these guys?
Yeah,
still,
which is lovely, really.
Because you're touring again. You're touring, in fact, in 2019. Well, this is a massive tour by this time.
It's a 40th anniversary, 40 years since we released our first album. So we just made a record to release as well next year. And, yeah, we're touring again.
So, yeah. And do you think... I tried to look and see if you could buy Home on iTunes, and I don't think you can. I was going to suggest that everyone go out and buy it, and we try... How many albums would you have to sell on iTunes to get to #1 in the album chart?
Honestly, no idea.
Because I reckon if everyone who listens to this went out the week this went out and bought Home, and it's really good. I mean, you could just get it on the internet for free now. That's the problem.
Or eBay Israel, you can get it on.
Yeah, eBay Israel. It's such a good album. I'm so angry. So angry that I can't connect with anyone else.
No.
My girlfriend at the time, I gave her a copy.
Yeah.
So so we've got. I could give her a ring. My wife probably wouldn't be very happy with it.
No. Let it go. Let it go.
Let it go. Oh. We'll go back to emergency questions while I recruit. This beer is very strong.
Yes.
And I know you've stopped drinking, Terry. This one's called Cerviche, I think, or Cervix. I can't see. It's dry hopped Wit beer. Oh, this is the lime and coriander one. So it's nice, actually. You can get your own 8 free craft beers at... See, the problem with it is I can't remember... I'm too drunk to remember where you can get them. The address will come up, beer52.com/RHLSTP. There you go. And, what was the decision to give up drinking? Why did it... What tipped you over into...
Because I went nuts. And my psychiatrist said, you've got to stop doing that. I was telling you earlier about I used to climb statues.
Yes.
But I don't know, some people get aggressive or party-ish, but I used to, I got picked up by the police outside Hamleys because I saw a teddy bear in the window. It's a 6-foot teddy bear with a tartan dicky bow. And I thought, he's my future. No, seriously, I was that pissed. And it's like, I was banging on Hamley's door. It was like 3 a.m. And sometimes you just got to say, stop, really.
Yeah. And has that been easy to stop? I can keep on thinking I should stop, but, then beer companies sponsor my podcast. What can I do?
Well, I can't really drink or anything because of my medication, so it's pretty easy, really.
Fair enough. And we're talking a bit about stage about with a few comedians in their 50s we've lost due to drink, and obviously a lot of musicians don't make it. No. Beyond that kind of age. Is it sort of worth that? Do you think is it worth the hedonistic days of youth if that's the payoff?
I think so. So.
Okay. Yeah. Thank God.
But not for me.
But you're glad, it must have been when you're touring as young men in a bus together. Must be some tensions you want to get out.
What do you mean? What kind of tension?
You might get a ventriloquist doll and masturbate someone you work with. That's the kind of thing that might happen. I imagine. Let me go for another Mercy question. No, that's too stupid. Do you have Did you have a celebrity shag list, or did you ever had one of 5 celebrities you'd be allowed to have sex with outside of your relationship because they're on a laminated piece of card? If they want to have sex with you.
Do they have to be alive?
No.
Cool. David Cassidy.
Yeah.
David Essex.
He is alive, right, David? It's a shame about Cassidy. Essex is...
That was sad. That was sad.
Essex, did you ever meet David Cassidy? It's not really your era, is it?
I went to a gig at Wembley. He was playing, but it was with the Bay City Rollers. But I just wanted to see him, really. Right. And I saw his wife, David Cassidy's wife, and it's like, I don't know, I just had bad thoughts, really. Just wanted to push her down the stairs.
Yeah, well, she must have got that a lot.
That's bad, right?
Yeah, well, but...
I wanted to kill her to get to him.
Yeah.
But
Cassidy, Essex, anyone not called David? I mean, it's fine.
Jimmy
we
Savile.
Can go through the David, Jimmy Savile.
Mitch Hedberg.
The comedian?
Yeah. He's got a glow. And I need a woman... on Men's Day.
It's surprisingly male-dominated. I didn't I'm fine with that, but I thought there might be...
Anne Bancroft.
Anne Bancroft?
Yeah.
As Mrs. Robinson, or just at any point?
Any point, really.
Yeah, fair enough. Mel Brooks still going?
He is.
Yeah.
Cool.
We talked about him the other week. It's kind of weird combination, Mel Brooks and Anne Bancroft.
Yeah, it's not right.
No.
It should be me and Anne Bancroft.
It should be you and Anne Bancroft. And David Cassidy.
Yeah.
My sister was obsessed with Les McEwen from Bay City Rollers.
Yeah.
And he still tours.
As
himself, I think. Yeah.
McEwen's Bay City.
Oh, is it that?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. She goes to see him.
No.
Yeah. It's, you can't talk, you're still touring. So... My sister had loved you. You're very sexy in those, especially Fun Boy 3. I think it's just the memory back to those.
It's a memory.
The first
it's nothing
snobs
more than a memory. Trust me.
But you're very, very. I mean, you still are, but you're a very handsome young man. If International Men's Day means one thing, it means men can declare their homoerotic feelings, but other men, especially their pop stars,
after half a bottle.
Yeah.
This
is strong stuff. This is strong. I've got to drink all of these.
I'm out of here by the time you get to the 5th.
You're not drinking, so I've got to take all of those down now.
No way.
It's fucking disgusting. Have they paid us yet? This is why I should never do sponsorship, because I'll always... And the same as you, I'll always just mess it up at the last minute.
Actually, we had a song with Banana Rhyme called It Ain't What You Do, It's The Way You Do It.
It's a great song.
We got approached by KFC to do a version. It ain't what you chew, it's the way you chew it. And we did it.
Well, that's not a very good advert for Kentucky Fried Chicken. It doesn't matter what you chew, as long as you chew it in the right way.
It's true, I haven't thought about it.
Then the disgusting taste of Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah.
See, Kentucky Fried Chicken, I became vegetarian when I was 18 or 19, and that was one of the things I really missed. And then I've stopped being vegetarian and I had some Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's not very nice.
It's not nice.
No, it's not nice. It's not what you chew, it's the way you chew it. That's the problem with it. But I remember my dad going to Western Supermarket. I went to Western Supermarket with my mates to the cinema, and my dad came and picked us up, and he bought a big bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken for us all. I remember thinking, that's amazing. You know, imagine having so much money, you can just buy
a bucket
of Kentucky Fried Chicken, and to use that in that generous way to spend.
It's great.
And I've always admired my dad since that day. He did that. I thought one day I'm going to buy a bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken. I could do it now, couldn't I? Could probably afford it now. Let me see what else I've got here for you, Terry Hall.
It's just going to be my finger again.
Terry Hall from this one. No one asked. I'm sorry I asked you about the rectal cancer. It was...
Yeah, but backstage you asked me about what hole would I plug up.
Yeah.
It's like...
That's a perfectly innocent question.
Man.
You chose your ear, which is correct. What did you buy with your... if you ever got a first week's wages, because it doesn't sound like you worked for a... What did you buy with your first week's wages from the hair salon, I'm guessing? Or maybe the potato machine?
Do you know what it was? It was because I'd met a girl, I was 15, and that was from... I would have been the building. And I got 16 quid, and I bought her an engagement ring for... It's Argos, it was really good. I had to get my dad to give me 95 because it's 16.95. Right. But I said, can we get engaged? This was about like after a week. Oh. And Mum told me to fuck off.
Yeah. Oh. So in a way, it's a beautiful story. I bought a Sony Walkman for my. I got 30 quid.
That's nice.
Just, you know, for tapes, cassette tapes. Do you remember cassette tapes?
I do. Yeah.
You would do. But you probably got some of your albums on it. What do you think would be the worst flavour for a flavoured condom?
Jacob Rees-Mogg.
Pretty good answer. Pretty good answer. Have you ever slept overnight to be first in a queue?
No.
What do you think?
To collect something or to have something?
Well, like people getting tents to get like Harry Potter or tickets to see something.
No.
You never done anything like that?
No.
Didn't have to do it to get the Sex Pistols tickets. How many people were at that Sex Pistols gig that you went to in the Clash? 50. Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
And everyone in Coventry remembers being there, I'm sure. And yeah, so I'll go on to some more people you've worked with and what they were like. Lily Allen, how was Lily Allen to work with? Did you do the Glastonbury with her, or did you do anything more than Glastonbury with her?
I think it was just Glastonbury.
Yeah. I mean, not that. Come on.
She was nice.
Yeah.
A bit. She was nice.
Yeah. Nice or less nice than Sinead O'Connor?
A different sort of nice.
And so, do you think if your version of Sense had taken off more than the Lightning Seeds one, that you would have done the Three Lions song with Newman, with Skinner and Baddiel?
No.
You like football though.
I love football. It's the thing that keeps me going, really. But I actually did a guide vocal on Three Lions for Ian.
Oh, did you?
So Frank and David could sort of do it in tune and stuff like that. But I took myself off it before it got released.
Did you have any input to that song at all?
Just that.
So you can't claim.
I was very supportive.
Yeah. We heard that because we share management with Skinner and Baddiel.
Yeah.
Or me and Stuart did, and I do still do. And we heard that before anyone, and Stuart's comment was, it sounds like the fucking Wombles.
Yeah. It's not nice, is it?
It isn't. That's not a nice thing to say.
No.
But history has proven him to be a fool, my friend.
There you go.
Not just in that way, but in many other ways as well. Cool. How are you finding growing older as a pop musician?
It's really great.
Yeah.
It's really brilliant.
How long can you keep going?
Well, until I collapse, really.
Yeah.
And it's really brilliant. And the older I get, the more I enjoy it. It's like, because you go through all that stuff about record labels and people saying this and that once that's all gone, you don't really care, and it's good fun.
Yeah, and the new Specials album is new music.
It's new stuff, yeah.
Which is quite exciting because you have tended to just since you reformed, you've been giving people what they want, which is the standards.
Which is me.
Yeah. But it's it must be. That's what you sort of. We were discussing this a little bit backstage, but it's that curse of being a musician as opposed to a comedian. Is that people want to hear your favourite stuff, the best stuff, and as a comedian, you're not allowed. You've got great stuff, and you're not allowed to do it again because people don't want to hear it. This lot lap it up before the show, but my stuff's so intricated. No,
it's definitely.
Fuck, I'm so drunk. I'm drunk on the happiness of meeting Terry Hall for the second time in my life. So what's the process of writing the new Specials stuff?
Well, we just we had an ongoing court case for about 10 years, so we didn't do it, and then we sort of held it up. But we just now write about how we feel, and when we were kids, we wrote about unemployment and whatever we were going through, really. And now we're doing the same, but now it tends to be about us as sort of older men.
It's sort of with the Specials. It sort of was growing up music even when you were kids, though. I think. Don't you think it was? That's what I guess. What I'm getting at with the '80s is there was a lot of sort of, fluffy, new romantic nonsense with,
Yeah, and it's like when you revisit it, BBC Four has like '80s and all that stuff, and it's good fun to watch. It's really funny, and I saw a Duran Duran documentary. That was really funny, but it really was funny. But and it's fluffy.
Well, I saw you talk about Howard Jones in another interview, and like when you think about what these people were doing, Howard Jones had Jed, was it, or Bed? No, not Bed.
It was Jed.
Jed,
because I was on a Oxford Roadshow when he was launched, not Jed, but Howard Jones. But there was all this stuff for like 2 months before, like teasers. Who is Howard Jones? Who is Howard Jones? And then he did his first performance, and his amp broke. And I just thought I was really sort of like, that's Howard Jones.
Yeah. But it was sort of a lot of Nick Kershaw. I mean, there were still a lot. Some of it stands up, but it's very sort of sixth-formy. Like Human Chains, that's Howard Jones, isn't it? That's what it was, wasn't it? Jed was in Human Chains. Literally in Human, he was in chains.
Which is dead weird when you think about it. It's like, what's he doing there? But I felt that when Lou Reed had that martial arts, like Lou Reed was singing Perfect Day with this bloke going like that. So what's he doing there? But that's Jed. And but I still can't get over Marty Pello. From
it's hard.
Where he still bugs me now. He still bugs me.
And Shaking Stevens was the highest-selling artist of the 1980s.
I think he kept us off the top spot a few times.
Did he? Yeah.
Shaky, yeah.
And if I'd remembered him in that pointless 0 points, he was at a pointless answer, Shaking Stevens. So that's the terrible thing about show business, isn't it? So in a way, would you rather be Shaking Stevens, which you'd think anyone would be, or Terry Hall? And you'd probably choose Terry Hall out of those two, wouldn't you?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
No. It's a difficult choice, actually.
It really is.
It's a hard choice to give you between those two. And are you engaging with new music? Do you listen to new music? Because I don't know anyone is now.
I try.
Yeah.
And on the internet, I quite like YouTube, where you can look at things.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Like new music.
Yeah.
But I do tend to watch a lot of stand-up. That's why I was curious about Yes, I like stand-up. I prefer stand-up to music at the moment.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Do you think you might become a stand-up?
No, but
You're very funny though. I mean, like you got this reputation of not being of being a little dour maybe, or not smiling. But you're very witty and funny.
Everyone's wrong.
Yeah, they are wrong. But you've been very funny tonight. But also, your songs are witty, and even the serious songs, there's wit in there. And I think the poetry of it is so beautiful. The lyrics are so great in your music, but they're musically sophisticated as well. You know, it's I just sort of think there's lots of music. I mean, I suppose you see it with comedians, and we were talking about some comedians backstage, and there's lots of comedians who think, why did they never become like the biggest star ever? And I feel that with a certain. I think even about Ray Davies, I sort of think he should be the prime songwriter of his generation, and he's obviously up there, but people don't really realise how great he was, I think.
But I think you tend to take a little bit of a back seat along the way. Yeah. And it's like when somebody says, would you like to come to the Brits? That's your avenue to that. Yeah. But not really. Do you know what I mean? Why would I want to go to the Brits?
But that's true. But that's why, that you're still here, and you've got this body of work. And that's why you're not Shakin' Stevens, I'm sorry to tell you. I'm sorry to let you know.
The album I did after Home, the MD of the label paid me the biggest compliment ever. He said, when you release a record, you commit commercial suicide. And I just thought, fucking great. Yeah. My job's done.
But it should be, if you manage to find that thing that does resonate with everyone, then that's great. Yeah. But also, it shouldn't, music, comedy, those things should be personal, and that's why that musical connection is there. That's why people keep coming to see you, and why some people keep coming to see me. Yeah. Because they've got that connection back to you, and you've touched them with something, with some art. Yeah. Yeah. As being serious, why do you have to? So you're so childish. I don't know why you're interested in my work. I'm trying to impress Terry Hall. Now shut up.
It's working.
It's working. But it's great. Everyone should go and buy Home by Terry Hall and nothing else. This in the week this comes out.
Good luck.
If you see anyone else buying an album, punch them in the face. Let's get Home, which is not commercially available. Anywhere. It could be by the time we put this out, I could get onto your record company. Tell them to put it out. It's like you can just put it out on iTunes. It doesn't cost anything, does it?
No, but it's like iTunes, internet. It's like, do we have to?
That's how they do it now. That's how it's all done.
Do we have to?
Well, I'd like to thank you very much for all the pleasure you brought to me in my life, and thank you so much for coming on my podcast. It means an awful lot to me. I've had a couple of my heroes on this series, and so it's fantastic to have you come on.
It's been lovely.
And you're a fantastic man. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Terry Hall!
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll be back next week with another one. Thank you very much for watching another episode of RHLSTP. Thank you to our sponsors, Beer 52. Go to beer52.com/RHLSTP to claim your free 8 craft beers. Go to gofasterstrike.com to buy things like my emergency questions book, and also my Oh Frig I'm 50 DVD, if any are left available. There are downloads, though, you can get of that show if there are no more hard copies, or if you live in the future and don't know what DVDs are. Also, why not come and see one of these live? We're at the Square Theatre on Mondays from the 4th of February to the 1st of April. I will also be travelling around the country in 2019 doing gigs, maybe in a town near you. Go to richardherring.com/gigs. Don't put that whole thing in or you won't get anything. Just the richardherring.com/gigs. And then you can see if I'm coming near to you. I'm definitely coming to Birmingham. Not many tickets left for that. Might not be any by the time you see this. Go away. How'd you like them sky potatoes?